right, so putting together a video, and what we're talking about here is rules of thumb for looking at cubes when you're estimating. So what we're going to do, I've got a bunch of common items we're going to run through. And when you're estimating, if you don't have a moving software that has pre-built items into it where it already does, it basically has a cube sheet built into the system. And let's say you're just estimating by hand. These are some rules of thumb, some visual benchmarks that you can use while you're estimating. So let's just start with the top here. So we have a nightstand, 5 cubic feet, okay? The way you get cubic feet, if you don't know, it is length times width times height, and that is giving you a volume measurement, okay? So we're talking about the space within the object based on its length times width times height. So nightstands, end tables, you can pretty much just guess they're about 5 cubes. A chest of drawers, and when we look at dressers, this would be called a single, right? And we'll look at a double in a second, but a single or a chest of drawers is about 30 cubes. Now, every piece of furniture is different case by case, so these are just benchmarks, right? If you're going through the home or you're putting together a quote, I want you to learn these almost like constants, like they're the back of your hand. And so that way, one, you become more skilled, you're quicker at estimating, you're quicker at putting together your quotes and your numbers. But it's just good things to know in the moving industry. So next we have a horizontal dresser, but this could also be called a double, right? Because it has 2 double side drawers. So this is going to be in that 40 cubic feet mark. That number is not including the mirror. We're just talking about the dresser part, right? So, and the thing that you have to take into account for when you're estimating is density and weight and what type of material it is. What we're looking at right now is just volume, but what you're going to see in a minute with some of these other items is sometimes you'll look at an item and it has a very large cubic number, but it's pretty light. It's made out of particle board or something that's just kind of cheaper material. But if you get into hardwood furniture, things that are very dense, those kind of things take more time. So if you're estimating a home that has a lot of hardwood furniture, a lot of handmade furniture, add extra time to your quotes, okay? So moving right along, we've got a coffee table, right? Just a standard basic coffee table. That's about 12 cubes. And an easy way to think about coffee tables is it's basically like 2 end tables put together, right? So we said a nightstand or an end table is about 5 cubes. Well, pretty close, Coffee tables will range anywhere from 10 to 15 cubes. They come in a lot of different sizes, a lot of different variances. Next, we're going to talk about beds, okay? So we're talking about the full setup. So the mattress, the box spring, headboard, footboard, and the railing or the frame. So we've got a king size bed. So that's about 70 cubic feet, okay? And, this is going to be, the king size beds have much larger headboards. They have larger footers, and it's large. Now, if you go down to the queen, it's going to be about 65 cubes. They're pretty similar in size. A lot of times, if you maybe don't quite know whether it's a king or a queen, is because they're very close in size. The queens, typically, they're going to have much smaller headboards, and they usually don't have a significant footer. If you go down, we've got a double. Again, 60 cubes here, so a little bit smaller. Same concept, a single or a twin is going to be about 40 cubes. All right, so these are just, again, these should be frame of references for you. Here's a small desk. Again, this is one of those things that it's pretty cheap looking wood, particle board type material. This is about 24 cubes. A small desk is usually 20 to 25 cubes. Desks are one of those things that it can range. There's lots of different types, lots of different weights for them. For instance, the next one here, we have a secretary. So this is obviously a much more dense, heavier item. And just by the sheer volume, this is about 35 cubes. It's a lot longer. As far as the width and the height of the desk, might be a little bit higher, but really the difference between the small desk here and the secretary is the length of it. Moving along, we've got a 3-seater sofa or couch. So these are going to be right at about 50 cubes. Now, differences here is if they have if they're sleeper sofas, right? So that'll influence weight if they have a mechanism. Love seat, it's going to be about 35 cubes. So if you kind of look here, the love seat's 35 cubes, and the secretary desk is about 35 cubes. So what you'll find is commonalities. There, you'll find similar items that have similar cube volumes, and you'll be able to basically have a handful of items that you know the size of in your mind, and you base everything off of whether it's smaller or bigger than those items, right? And that's how you estimate. Just an easy kind of trick there. What about a recliner? So recliner, about 25 cubes. You're going to figure this is probably 4 foot high, the back of the chair, and then 2.5 feet long and 2.5 feet wide. Kitchen table. So you've got 2 components here. You got the chair and the table. So dining chairs also could be called a straight chair. They're always right about 5 cubes. The square kitchen tables that you'll find, okay, they're right at 30 cubes. All kitchen tables and dining tables are pretty much the same height. Okay, they're all about 3.5, 4 feet high, somewhere in that ballpark. The difference in tables is the length. So this dining table, you can see this one more like a farmhouse table. So this one would be much heavier. But this is about, let's say this was an 8-foot table. I don't actually know how long it is. I just pulled the picture. But an 8-foot table would be about 70 cubes. And that's the table alone, not the chairs. Okay. So, if you looked at this all together, this is an 8-chair table. So 8 times 5 cubes, right? We know a dining chair is about 5 cubes. So that's 40 plus the 70 cubic foot table. You're looking at about 110 cubes all together, right? Plus or minus. And that's all the items I had set. So use these as frames of reference, and this should aid you in getting very skillful in looking at cubes, working in cubes. This should become something that's just the back of your hand and becomes integrated in your estimating. So hope that helps. We will see you at the top, and have a great day.